I was just sitting here and I was kind of thinking about my individual life and the journey that I've gone on and how every single experience that I went through still exists inside of me. I am in this moment the byproduct of every single freeze frame of my life, every single clip, every single experience accumulated equals me in this present moment. And the same is true for you. So whoever you are right now in this moment is the accumulation of every single millisecond that you experienced combined together equals you in this present moment. So when you see yourself as millions and trillions of fractals being held together through this consciousness, it changes the way that you perceive everything. Because, for example, I look at this human body, and the human body is really 60 trillion cells or something like crazy like that. Trillions and trillions of cells that are being held together. When you zoom in enough, they're not even touching each other. There's actual blank space between each cell. Yet, based on your perception, you see a body. You see 60 trillion cells floating somewhere in space, being condensed and held together by gravity. And it's the same thing with our memories, right? Like our memories is literally thousands of all these microseconds, micro moments accumulated and being held together by your current level of understanding, what you call yourself right now, your psyche, your personality, who you consider yourself, your identity, I should say. That's the accumulation of all your past memories up until right now. The same way your body is the accumulation of trillions of cells as one being right now. The same way that all the planets and all the stars within a galaxy make up the galaxy, the same way that the trillions of galaxies makes up the universe and the parallel universe. It's this constant fractal. So that's why when they say when you go in, you go out, it's true, because on the eternal loop there is no boundary. The boundary is the limitation, but the only way that you can perceive being boundless is by creating boundaries. The only way that you can experience what infinite feels like is by not being infinite for a temporary moment of time. So all of these realities exist at the exact same time. The only thing that changes is your consciousness traveling through. Your consciousness literally travels through these realities, but they all exist frozen in time, right? Like time right now, it's just a conceptual thought to you. The only thing that's real is you watching this right now, is you hearing my voice. Everything that existed prior to this second is invisible right now in your memory, right? You think it just doesn't exist anymore? Like literally 5 seconds ago when I started this sentence, that doesn't exist anymore even though you just witnessed it? Or is it your consciousness traveling through me expressing these words, right? Just kind of traveling through all these words. And that's when they say you're infinite, your being is infinite. It's this fractals. Like when you zoom in enough, you get the bigger picture. Like it's infinite, right? So the more you zoom in, the more you see the higher perspective, because there is no, all these things are just created. Time, space, dimensions, perspectives, boundaries, they're all just created in order to add relativity to our perceptions. Because the center of infinity is everywhere. Think about that. The center of infinity is you right now. You are the center of infinity, and I am the center of infinity. Because it's infinite. And the same thing is true for life. What we, consider our lives, I don't consider this my life. You might look at me and call me Apollo and give me this identity, but that's who I am. That's not what I am. What I am is way outside of whatever identity you want to attach to me, whatever this limited lifetime is. I'm here to serve as best as I can within this time frame and within this dimension, but ultimately I know that that's not the truth of what I am. The problem with society is that they've been trying to tell you that who you are is what you are, and that's not true. They try getting you bounded to this physical world with identities and names and brands and success and rewards and recognitions and all these different things, careers, jobs, money, all these things. They're fine, they're all beautiful, but they're also external distractions. They're part of the universe. They are not the universe, and the problem is that most people create their entire realities based on a very specific aspect of existence. Like people who go to school, go to work, and that's cool, and they do all this, they buy a house, they buy a car. I love all that stuff. It's all great. It's sure, it's all there is no good, there is no bad. But as long as people realize that this is just the external. All these things are reflections of something much more powerful. So what happens is that we see the physical manifestations of things that are too powerful for us to internally reflect on, and they distract us because it's so much easier to look outside of ourselves to get all of the answers. So we try to find happiness in materialism. We try to find acceptance in other people because we're not willing to accept ourselves. That's the reason that we care what other people think. Because, I mean, think about that. Like, everybody's creating their own reality in their mind. So why are we so concerned about other people's realities and what they think of us? None of that even matters. All that matters is, how can I use this time and this space and this energy to transmit love and experiences? And love, when we talk about love, everybody thinks about it in a happy way. It's not. Love is all the emotions combined, I think. You can be angry from a place of love. You can be compassionate from a place of love. You can just be honest and express whatever comes through. It's only our minds that attach words to these things and try forming these judgments. Ultimately, they're all there. They all exist, but it's only, what do we want to be ignorant of? What do we want to tap into? And it doesn't, at the end of the day, it's your life, and, you're an infinite being, so it really doesn't matter. There is no real destination. There is no end goal. There is no savior. There is no, we made it and now we're here. Because once you make it, what do? What do you do? Like, you made it and now what? So the journey is the illusion. The fact that we're on a journey and we have to find a purpose and it has to be so hard. All of that is just an illusion. It's a complete illusion. Not to say that you don't have a purpose. It's saying quite the opposite. That because everything has a purpose, by saying that you're trying to find your purpose, you are actually saying that everything does not have a purpose. So that's the biggest thing.